Lucas, Mom's hospital appointment is over. Her vitals are stable at least.
Well, good job.
I'll be heading home and getting her bathed.
Mom's really become frail. She can't walk without a cane or support, and she's on a catheter too. She can't even bathe by herself anymore.
It's unavoidable. Don't speak ill of her. She's trying her best after all.
But don't you think it would be better if she moved into a care facility? She's not able to move around freely anyway.
Her mind is still sharp and she feels more comfortable at home. We're still within our capacity to provide home care, aren't we? Plus, it's me who's doing all the caregiving, right? You, Lucas, aren't helping at all.
I have work to do. I can't be spending time caregiving.
We're living in her house. She'd probably prefer having you, Lucas, doing things for her too. Why don't you try caregiving once in a while?
No way. Helping Mom with her personal care, bathing her, it's not something her son should do.
You're not too old to feel embarrassed. Besides, if I were to get sick, you, Lucas, would be the one who'd have to take care of me. You'd better get used to it in case of emergencies.
Then we can put Mom in a care facility.
What if she says she doesn't want to go?
Then she'd have to figure it out herself. I have work and can't take care of her.
How can you say something so cold, so casually, after all she's done for you? Oh, but there will be a day when you really have to do it, Lucas.
What? What do you mean?
My brother and his wife are coming back from abroad after a long time, so I'm planning to go see them and stay at our parents' house over the weekend next month.
You can't just spring that on me.
It's not sudden, is it? It's still about a month away.
Why do I have to spend my precious days off caregiving? I can't. I'll pass.
Even if you say pass, you know I've been caregiving every day, right? Once a year should be okay.
I don't care. You should hire a helper or something. Alright?
I've got permission to go from Mom, so I'll discuss it with her.
So you got Mom's permission before mine.
I just happened to talk about it when I was in contact with the family. I spent the most time with Mom after all. Lucas, you're hardly ever home, and all you do when you come back is eat and sleep. You never even listen to what I'm saying.
I'm tired from work. Who do you think is making it possible for us to eat?
I know. I really appreciate you working, but I'm also doing what I need to do at home. I don't want you to think that just because you work outside, you don't have to do anything at home.
What's a homemaker like you even talking about?
You don't have to say it like that.
I'm not coming home today.
What? Why?
Because I don't want to see your face. You're always whining. It's bothersome. Alright then.
Wait, Lucas. Where are you saying you're going to stay? Lucas, answer me. Lucas, you said you'd come home early today, right? You still haven't returned yet.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna be late.
I told you I have a cold, didn't I? So I'd really like it if you could come home earlier. Could you buy a sports drink on your way home?
That's why I said I'll be late. Besides, you could order delivery at this time. Don't rely on me.
Alright, I'm sorry. I have a fever and I'm feeling a bit fuzzy. I couldn't think straight.
Acting sick, huh? Getting a cold is your own doing, isn't it?
What?
You skipped taking care of Mom and went back to your parents' house. That's why you caught a cold. If this spreads to my mom, it's on you. If my mom, who is weak, catches a cold and it worsens, she might even need to be hospitalized. You're not thinking about that at all, are you? And you're still managing to take care of her.
I'm sorry. But if you're worried about my mother-in-law, couldn't you come home a little earlier? I think it's difficult for her when she has to go to the toilet. She's saying she'll try to manage on her own, but...
It's your fault for catching a cold. Don't blame your mistake on me.
It might be my fault, but... Isn't it okay to cooperate a bit in times like this?
Take care of your own mess. Don't ask me for care.
When my mother-in-law needed care, Lucas, you said you would help, didn't you? Was that a lie?
At that time, Violet was also working part-time, right? Now you've quit, so don't complain.
I quit my part-time job because full-time care was needed. Originally, you were the one who asked me to take care of her. She's your mother, isn't she? I don't mind if you don't care about me, but please consider your mother.
Enough with the excuses. I don't want to catch a cold when I get home. Sort it out yourself. Violet, I hate to spring this on you, but could you leave soon?
Huh? What do you mean?
I've decided to divorce you. Actually, I have someone I love. I'm thinking of remarrying her.
Huh? What do you mean?
That's why I'm divorcing you, because I want to remarry.
Do you understand what you're saying? That means you've been having an affair, doesn't it?
I haven't had an affair. No misconduct. I plan to start dating her officially after we split up.
I don't understand.
You probably wouldn't. It's a thing called pure love between me and her.
Are you thinking you don't have to pay alimony because there's no misconduct?
I've looked into it and it seems it's difficult to claim alimony when there's no misconduct. But, well, that's the case. If having a meal together is considered an affair, it would be unbearable.
I wasn't expecting anything from Lucas anymore. I never thought you'd stoop this low.
Low? What are you talking about?
Doing such selfish things. Don't you think you're the lowest?
I've been feeding you for free just for taking care of Mom, you know. You're like a worn-out rag, becoming more and more of an old lady and losing your charm in the things you say. I'd appreciate if you could thank me for letting you live a comfortable life.
I'm done. I now understand that you really don't care about me. I have no regrets.
Oh, are you admitting it so easily?
At this point, yeah.
I thought you'd come crying because you're middle-aged and being divorced. Could it be? Do you think it's lucky to be freed from my mom's care?
Don't equate me with your thinking.
Well, if you agree to the divorce, that's fine. Anyway, get your stuff together. Make sure you can leave at any time. Violet, you haven't sorted out your stuff yet, have you? I'm moving in next week. What have you been doing all this time?
I've mostly packed up my stuff.
When I came home this morning, your stuff was still there.
Are you sure you didn't see it wrong?
No way. Even if you do this, you're still leaving. Because a new wife is coming, you should hurry up and leave.
Having me take care of your mother, having an affair during that time, and finally kicking me out. It's a terrible story.
You've had it easy while I've been caring for her, haven't you? I'm going to dump my mother into a facility, so thanks for all your hard work until now. Once you, who are so noisy, are gone, I can finally do as I please. Don't hold a grudge just because you've been dumped.
Huh? You're the one being dumped. I'll put your stuff together and put it outside. So hurry up and leave.
Huh? What are you talking about?
I said you're the one being kicked out.
Why am I being kicked out? This is my parents' house.
Technically, it's your mother's house, but the house has been transferred to my name. The paperwork just went through today, so you're the one leaving. Even if your new wife's stuff arrives, it can't be brought into the house.
What the hell? Huh? Why do you own my family home?
It was your mother's idea. When I told her about the divorce, she suggested ditching you. Your mother has been very cooperative too.
My mother's cooperation? Why is she on your side?
Don't you think it's obvious? You didn't care for her at all and were having an affair all along. And your mother was the first one to notice your affair. She told me a few months ago. So I had a private detective look into it.
So you knew before I told you?
Yes. And you said there was no infidelity? But there was, wasn't there? I have evidence of that too. So I'll be getting alimony.
What the hell? If you knew, why didn't you say something right away?
I noticed that Lucas's affection for me was gone, but because of our past memories, I couldn't bring myself to divorce you even though you treated me terribly. There were many times I thought about it, and I was worried about what would happen to your mother after I left. But when I was told about the divorce, I felt liberated. Oh, I don't need this guy in my life.
Hold on a second. So you mean to say that my parents' house is now yours, and I'm going to have to pay alimony?
That's right. Of course, to your mistress too. I will be receiving it properly from both of you.
You contacted my mistress? If you haven't yet, please don't.
Sorry, but I've already sent the claim for alimony. Are you panicking because she was still living at home? But it's your fault for having an affair.
When did you send it?
What were you going to do when you found out? Trying to grab it from the post before their family finds out? But too bad. I just got a call from your mistress's parents. They apologized, and they said they won't let their daughter see you anymore.
Huh? Are you serious?
They didn't know you were married.
That's the worst.
Who's the worst? You lied about there being no infidelity, and even greeted her parents. The worst for both me and her parents is you guys.
Please, tell her parents that it was a lie. She's a sheltered, well-raised girl. They will never approve of a marriage born out of an affair.
A sheltered, well-raised girl wouldn't have an affair, right? Maybe you're being deceived.
Our love is pure.
Please don't say pure love when you're having an affair. It's too funny. If it was truly pure love, you'd do things in the right order.
Violet, I'm truly sorry. I really am sorry for leaving your mother's care with you. I'll properly apologize for everything up until now. So please correct the fact that we're having an affair. I'll pay whatever amount of money you want.
You already got the house, and you'll get alimony from both of us. And you'll also get a share of the property. That's more than enough for me.
But you're a housewife. What are you going to do from now on? You can't live on just caring for your mother. You'll be better off with a lot of money, won't you?
Don't worry about that. I couldn't muster up the courage to get a divorce for a long time, but I've been making plans for the future with your mother.
What do you mean, plans for the future?
I've also got a caregiving qualification, and I'm planning to gain practical experience through part-time work. We've decided to hire a helper on the days when I work part-time. And besides, you don't have much savings left, do you? I wouldn't expect something I can't get.
No, I still have my savings from when I was single.
I looked into it the other day, but you've been using a lot since you started dating your current girlfriend, haven't you? You should check your balance. It was less than $1 million.
What?
You didn't keep track of your own savings? You're an idiot.
Violet, please. I'm really sorry. So please forgive me.
After putting me through so much, you think you can end it with an apology now that you're cornered? You really are making a fool of me.
I'm not. I'm really sorry.
Do people who are truly sorry say they're sorry? I wouldn't be able to say anything if I were in your shoes.
I'm sorry. I'm really sorry.
It doesn't matter how many times you apologize. We've already divorced, so you should start looking for a new place to live. You know you can't come into the house, right?
Violet, please help me. Please don't take away my happiness. Please forgive me.
What's the guy who tried to abandon me and my mother-in-law without considering us at all saying? You've pushed us away when we needed help and wanted to rely on you. Who was it that said you should take care of your own mess? After that, my husband repeatedly urged me to let him into the house after he came home, but I never unlocked the door. My husband didn't make a fuss because he was aware of the neighbor's gaze, but as he couldn't take all his belongings at once, they ended up being kept in storage for a while. I've also heard that his relationship with his girlfriend was vehemently opposed by her parents and ended. He wanted to get married regardless of the opposition and kept contacting her, but when he became penniless from the alimony and property distribution, and his parents found out about his affair, his lover's heart seemed to have completely broken. In the end, my husband ended up living in his company's dormitory, and I sent the remaining belongings there. After everything was over, my mother-in-law and I received messages of regret from my husband, but we ignored them and pretended not to see them, because there's no place for him to return to here anymore. Since then, my mother-in-law and I have been leading a fun life together. My mother-in-law was very happy that I was able to break free. And perhaps because I myself became more positive, the atmosphere in our home has become brighter than before. My mother-in-law needs care, but her mind and heart are actually still healthy. To spend as much time as possible with my kind mother-in-law, who has always supported me, I'll continue to support her and make many fun memories.
Mom. Hey. What, Brett? I'm busy now. I need to go pick up Aaron. So, can you not bother me? Sorry. Look, I got a letter from school about my parent-teacher conference. Is the 22nd next month okay? If you aren't free, you can tell them what's a convenient time for you. If you let them know this week, you can change the date. What do you want to do? Parent-teacher conference? What a bother. I'd go for Aaron, but I don't want to waste my time for you. But it'll be 10 minutes if it's quick. Aaron has a conference too, doesn't he? Yes, but it's not the same for him and you. I'm busy. But I was complimented a lot by Miss Turner. She said my grades are excellent. Apparently, I can go to almost any college I want if I keep this up. Mom, please talk to her. She wants to tell you how hard I'm working. What's the point in talking to your teacher? I'm not interested. You're letting her praise go straight to your head. I didn't get carried away. It's just, I studied so hard for the last 3 years. So I wanted you to know that. If you really thought you worked so hard, you'd have nothing to prove. This conversation is now over. I'm going to pick up Aaron. Tell the teacher I'll be absent from the conference because I can't take time off from work. Okay? Yes. Hey, Mom. Why won't you come to the hospital? There's no one to pick me up, so the nurses are concerned. I can't give you a ride. Aaron's football game is about to start. You're not a kid anymore, so go back home yourself. But I broke my leg. I'm not used to crutches yet. I can't walk home alone. Stop whining. It's your own fault that you got injured. It's embarrassing that you broke your leg by falling off your bike. Oh, you're so clumsy. A little kid jumped out in front of me suddenly. You should be glad that I didn't hit him. Whatever. If it was Aaron, he would have avoided him and been safe. This kind of thing makes the difference in you and him apparent. He's just built differently than you.
Fine. I'll figure out how to get home myself.
As you should. I don't intend to spend my time on you. You need to do your own things by yourself. Oh, I almost forgot. I'm going to Hawaii with Aaron from next week. Don't cause me any problems while we aren't home.
Huh? Hawaii? Are you leaving me alone while I'm injured?
Of course! We've been planning this vacation for a while. We're not going to cancel just because you got injured.
You're going with just the two of you?
We're going with Aaron's school friend and his mom. His family have been doctors for generations, so they're loaded. It's so great that Aaron goes to school with other rich kids. A lot of talented kids go there. It's so different from your high school.
Just because I don't go to a private school like him doesn't mean my school is bad.
It's a whole different world. Don't try to compete with my Aaron. You're just average next to him. You and Aaron are on completely different levels. What if his friends find out about your existence? That'd be so embarrassing.
Huh? Wait! You haven't told his friends about me?
Well, no. We've said that he's an only child. It's okay, right? You might as well not exist anyway.
Might as well not exist. How can you pretend like I don't exist? I'm right here!
You should be grateful that I'm letting you attend high school to the end. Actually, I wanted to kick you out from my house when you turned 16. Your English teacher told me boisterously that not finishing high school is bad. I could have ignored it and kicked you out, though. But it would be troublesome if that got out and people labeled it as negligence or abuse. I didn't want to taint Aaron's reputation that way. I had no choice but to let you finish high school, but I won't take care of you after that.
You don't need to tell me that. I'll leave here as soon as I graduate high school.
The house will be roomy once you're gone. I'm looking forward to it.
I've had enough of living like this, too.
Then I'm going to go watch Aaron's game. So, conversation over. Bye.
I'll leave the key in the living room. I didn't make a duplicate, so don't worry.
Never come back to the house again. The moment you step out of that door, you'll be a stranger to me. Don't mention anything about us out there.
Do you really want to exclude me so much? Why did you give birth to me if you're going to go this far to get rid of me?
I had you as insurance. When Aaron was born, he was so small, so I was worried that he might not grow up to be a normal size.
Insurance? Is that how you think about your own children?
But Aaron grew up big enough. He's been so lovely since he was a baby. You, on the other hand...
What?
You cried at night so much and started walking so late. On top of that, you were such a rebellious kid. Not lovable at all. It was such a waste to give birth to you.
Rebellious? When was that?
When you were 1 year old. Whatever I did, you hated it, and it was troublesome for me.
I was a baby. That's completely normal. It's a part of growing up. You've hated me all this time because I was a normal kid?
The quality of a human being is obvious from when they're a baby. I don't make wasteful investments.
Mom, I think I get it. Dad must have left you because you're such an awful person.
What did you say? How dare you speak to your mother like that? But you're all bark and no bite. I don't think you'll get a decent job without going to college. Your future is doomed anyway.
Even if my income is low at first, if I work hard, I can make it. I can buy a car, a house, even get married.
You're so naive. A broke person always goes into debt. If you get married and have kids, things would only get tighter for you. And then your kids will be poor as well. It's a vicious cycle from generation to generation.
You don't know that.
I do know. You just don't know anything about the real world. Your future is set in stone. You have the life of a loser to look forward to.
Shut up! This is where my life begins. You don't get to decide for me.
Wow, you really do bark a lot.
I will be successful in the future for sure. I'll work hard until I'm rich and famous. You'll see. I'll bring you down a peg or two someday.
It's been a while. It's your mom.
Yeah, I know who it is. It's been 4 years since you contacted me last. I just thought you cut ties with me completely.
There's something I want to ask you. Do you know a book called Raised by a Toxic Mother? It's been a big hit these days.
Yeah, I wrote it. It's a non-fiction book about my own life. It's well written, right?
What? No, that is not the issue here. Don't be stupid.
What? I can write about whatever I like. Have you ever heard of freedom of speech?
The toxic mother that you've written about is clearly me!
Is that a problem? To me, it's the truth that you are a toxic mother.
My reputation is taking a hit. I am not a toxic mother!
Is that so? It's not as if I revealed your name and personal information.
But you wrote it in a way that people who know me would know.
What are you trying to do?
I have friends and relatives who have noticed that the toxic mother from the book seems a lot like me. And the rumors spread from there. Aaron's reputation started to be ruined too. He's just launched his business. It's a critical time for him, and you're ruining it.
Wow. That's my big brother for you.
But because of these weird rumors, his business isn't going well. Plus, his fiancée called off the wedding. She was his client's daughter. His life was going so well. But you ruined everything!
His fiancée ditched him just because of that? Sounds like he wasn't that well trusted from the beginning. Because he's been such a womanizer from a long time ago. Only looks matter in women. They should just shut up and spread their legs, was almost a catchphrase for him. By the way, I wrote that in the book too. Was that the reason he was dumped?
This isn't funny. I'll sue you for defamation.
Do as you like. But my book is with a big publisher. They're used to these kinds of lawsuit threats. I didn't write any identifying information in the book. I wrote it in a way that I could just skirt my way around a defamation suit in case I was ever accused. Anyway, we have great lawyers who regularly deal with this stuff.
Were you planning to ruin us like this? I wondered what you were doing these last few years. I can't believe you were up to such a no-good plan.
That's a little harsh. I've just been writing a blog anonymously for a few years.
A blog? I didn't know you could write in full sentences.
I've always been good at writing short essays and stories. I guess you didn't know because you never showed any interest in me.
You wrote the blogs and the book just out of spite?
I just wanted to share my pain with someone. Actually, I started the blog in high school. I had a big increase in the readership around 2 years ago. Then a lot of media and news started to feature it. I got a book published using its contents. The sales are doing well, and a movie release has been decided too. You never know what might happen in life, right? There must have been so many people who empathized with me and the kind of environment I grew up in.
Don't get carried away because you published one book. I bet you'll be a flash in the pan with that one book. Huh.
Sure, if it's just one book. My future isn't stable. I was worried about how I could make a living when I was kicked out from home.
Of course. Life isn't so easy to succeed in, especially for a loser like you.
But I got income from the blog advertising, book royalties, and even invited to speak at seminars these days. I'm actually earning quite a lot, you know. I would guess that I probably earn more than Aaron.
Of course not. That's impossible. How much do you earn?
I got $165,000 just from last month alone.
$165,000? Don't lie to me.
I'm not, lol. Well, last month was especially high, though. I expect I'll only get more jobs and income from now on. But it sounds like Aaron is struggling, huh? His business isn't doing so well, right? I guess if it goes bust, he'll get into huge debt.
Stop laughing! You wouldn't find it so funny if it happened to you.
I find it funny because it's a stranger's business. I'm a stranger to you since I left the house. That's what you said, right? Aaron's business went under, right? I heard from Aunt Tina. That must be rough for you guys.
It's your fault! It's all because of your darn book!
Look. Would a stable company collapse so easily because of one book? All our relatives are saying so. His company was shaky from well before. I heard that he often argues against his employees, so there's always a shortage of workers. It didn't look like he was suited to running a business after all.
But that can't be! I worked so hard to make him the best son!
I guess that's the reason, isn't it? My brother, who was coddled by you all the time, messed up, whereas I was ignored, but succeeded. The result speaks for itself.
Then all my effort was wasted?
I'm worried about you, Mom. My brother grew up selfish and childish, right? Are you okay being around such a man all the time?
Well, Aaron's upset and thinks it's my fault why his business didn't go well. He throws things at me.
Your fault? That's cruel.
I know! He blames me for my bad parenting that he says made you resent us and get back at us.
I see. Aaron's a bad guy.
Right? Aaron is no good now. Listen, Brett. I was wrong. You were much better than Aaron all along. I apologize for everything I've done to you. I want to make it up for neglecting to love you when you were a child. I'll support you forever. I love you. Brett? Hey! Hey! Are you listening to me?
Oops, sorry. I went to the restroom. I thought you were going to be talking for a while. So? Are you going to switch your favorite child from Aaron to me now?
Can you not phrase it in that way?
Well, there's no other way to phrase it. You want my money, so you changed your attitude towards me, right?
I'm not after your money. Brett, you must feel lonely, right? So that's why I thought I should spend more time with you.
That's a good reaction.
What reaction?
My editor is laughing out loud.
Editor? What do you mean?
I'm with my book editor now. We're having a meeting today because they suggested that I publish another book. Then I got a text from you, so I was showing him our conversation. I was just curious to see how you would react if I said something a little kinder than usual.
What are you doing? Don't use our private conversations to ridicule me.
He was really put off by your abrupt change in attitude. Do you know how ridiculous what you're saying is? I wonder if this would sell well in another book.
Stop it! Your mother is not a tool for you to make money. How can you treat a human being like this?
Right back at you. Your own children were just like accessories to you, weren't we? To me, you're not my mother. Just a good topic for my writing. But people tend to get bored, so I need to find another story to write about. You're no use to me anymore.
I'm more useful to you than just as a writing topic for a book.
Well, any examples of how that's even remotely true? I'm telling you now, but I won't be impressed if you say you'll do my housework or ease my pain of being alone. I can do my chores just fine, and as for loneliness, there are plenty of options, like getting a girlfriend, friends, or pets. What exactly do I need you for? What benefits would you being around give me? Is there even any point in you existing? Say something.
I'll do anything. Anything you want me to, Brett.
Bold move. There's nothing I want or expect you to do for me. I don't even want you to be in my life.
Oh.
I have plenty of other topics that I want to write about. I don't have time to chat with you anymore.
Don't say that. Please. Brett, my son.
Your son? We're complete strangers, remember? Because your son Aaron is an only child. After that, what happened to my mother and Aaron was more or less what I expected. Aaron's company went bankrupt, so he himself got into debt, as I thought. I heard that in order to pay back his debt, he started to work in a shady company with terrible working conditions. He's stressing himself out every day, only to make peanuts. The thing that supported him after he was mentally broken wasn't our mother's love, but rather a large amount of alcohol. My brother became a complete alcoholic, often rampaging at her house. I hear that my mother is always on edge, afraid her son will get into another drunken rage. She lost a lot of weight due to her anxiety. I often hear about their situation from our relatives, but it seems like there's no one who's willing to help them. It's no surprise. It became well known how insane they are through the influence of my book. As for me, I started to use social media to support young people who suffer from toxic parents. There are so many children in the world who are in the depths of misery from the bad luck of being born into a bad environment. I'm happy if I can help such kids by sharing my life experience from my own bad upbringing. I hope that the next generation will have fewer children who suffer like I did.